Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Today we are in the Pushin' P low spec server. And as you can see, I'm not able to move my camera around smoothly without any stuttering. It wants to stutter here and there, it's not nice. I'm using 16 gigabytes of VRAM in a optimized low spec server. And I have a 4080 Super, and this is a problem. See that stuttering every time I go to grab the camera? You see what I'm saying? So what I'm telling you guys is that it's not your fault that you're joining servers that your PC can't run with 16 gigabytes of VRAM, 8 gigs of VRAM, 16 gigs of memory, 8 gigs of normal memory. These guys are reasons why you think you should be able to play, but in reality, you cannot play. Alright? So let's go down and let's just go check out an actual low spec server that has all these different BMWs that are the same car. And let's see what happens if I go hop on this server and watch what happens to my VRAM usage. Let's just check it out. By the way, we also hit 23 gigs of normal memory we were at there. So what's that telling me? The game is using 15, 16 gigs of memory and at least 16 gigs of VRAM. Not many people are going to have a bunch of extra VRAM headroom to play the game, okay? And now we'll see how quick this server loads in. We'll take a look at the RAM usage. And I know people's big complaint is, oh, there's not as much traffic, oh, it's not as many cars, it's not dynamic weather. You know, those are all the things, though, that are causing you not to play the game. You have to take what you have and make it work, and if you're not willing to do that, then you shouldn't play the game and complain about it all day. Why play a game that's making you upset and complaining? So now I'm using... Let's see, what am I using? Let's see the exact number. 5 gigs of memory in this server. And we're still at 12 gigs of memory, you guys. 12 gigs of VRAM. Just on SRP's newest version. Don't mind the graphics. They're all messed up right now because I was in single player. But look at that. You know, we're sitting at 12 gigs of VRAM still. For essentially, you know, no real good reason. But we're still only sitting at 4.7 gigs of normal memory, and we're sitting at 40% CPU and 80% GPU. It's such a better combination, and look how smooth it is. It's non-stop smooth. Every time I grab the camera, there's never going to be any lag in the server, even with other people. So problem number one is the servers that you're playing in are too big for you guys to be playing in with those low-spec systems. The numbers don't lie. The science doesn't lie. It's just the solid, concrete proof. That's what happens, right? So now let me just go back into single player. Real quick, we'll go into single player, into a practice on Nord, and we'll see what it's like in here, right? Let's test out how this is. Let's see what the performance gains do here. We're going to load in right away. Now I'm sitting at 5 gigs of VRAM usage, right? This is... You know, now we're getting into budget system-friendly stuff. My graphics look a lot better now because of the time of day and single-player LCS, non-modded map. And then let's check our memory usage now, right? 1.2 gigs, 1.4 gigs of memory to run the game now. That's what I'm talking about here when I say it's not your guys' fault, right? It's not your fault that the game isn't running good. It's the servers, it's the modders, it's the people making mods, it's the people that are saying servers are low spec when they're not, it's the servers that are running insane maps and custom UIs and configs. Everybody will say that these things are all awesome, but they're all gonna sit here and complain about stuttering, bad FPS, bad performance, input lag. You know what I'm saying? It's not a fun environment for a lot of people that want it to be fun. So the next problem we're going to get into here is people bottlenecking themselves, okay? Bottlenecking yourself on Assetto Corsa is super, super easy to do. And what it looks like is someone that opens Content Manager. They have something like a 1650 Super and, you know, like a Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7. And what they do is they think that lower will always be better, and they lower everything in here. They go into custom shaders patch and they lower everything to the point where the GPU does not even need to work to run the game now. And now the CPU is working harder, running all of the AI and players and everything else, that your CPU usage stays higher than your GPU usage, or is on average higher. Anytime it's higher, you're actually bottlenecking yourself really bad. So that's when you have CPU usage higher than GPU usage. Everything needs a balance. You have to balance out the graphical usage versus the CPU usage. So you're not going to get good performance just because you lowered everything. There's always a balance of your GPU sitting at 96 to 100 and your CPU hopefully between like 10 and 65 at the most. Between those two things, the other thing that you can do to give yourself the best chance is the normal go into the Discord, come into PC optimizations here, and do all of this stuff, and you'll save some resources on your PC. Another thing you can do is you can load up your PC, you can make sure nothing's running in the background. I have tons of guides and information for that. And then you can boot up just Assetto Corsa and see how you can play the game running just the game itself. These are a couple small things that will make a big difference for your gameplay experience. And as a real driver that's driven many, many, many cars, one thing I can tell you is you don't lag in real life. You know what I'm saying? There's no lag in real life. If you're lagging in real life, there's something else going on. And that's the thing. Once you play a lag-free, seamless driving experience and enjoy what that has to offer, it's hard to go back to a server that's laggy and has so much going on just to cut up through some traffic. There are more challenging roads, there's way more challenging modded maps, and most people can't even put a good time down on one of the most famous tracks in the world, the Nordschleife, and it is what it is. You know, people want to drive in a straight line through traffic, but to do that, you gotta have at least a certain type of PC, or at least be in a really, really low spec server and optimize your system. Have a good day, everybody. Take care.